Now we all want to look fly. We all want to look hip. But in 2024, it ain't about that Tommy Hilfiger, that Calvin Klein, that Louis Vuitton, that Coach. And when it comes to jewelry, it ain't about that cubic zirconia. It ain't about them diamonds. It ain't about that gold, that 10K, 18K. It ain't about that silver. None of that. 2024, this is brand new, baby. We got something popping on the streets, right? And that something is dead people. Dead people? Heck yeah, man. Don't you want to wear grandma? Resistance, I know you are playing with us. Well, have a peep.
It's made out of the carbon from her father's ashes. A Swiss company does this through a complicated process using machines.
This carbon is cleaned, analyzed, and graphitized by us, and finally put into a growing cell.
Algerdonza factory chief technician Frank Ripke says in a month, using time and pressure, a diamond is made, cut and finished into an Algerdonza, meaning remembrance memorial diamond.
Hello, diamond from this cute pup's ashes. This is Tiger, and he jumped out of a car 3 times, but he lived to a ripe old age. After we create a disc from the customer's carbon, this is Tiger's carbon disc. We also add a disc with iron, nickel, and cobalt. That's what gives the diamond the yellow color.
This is a graphite tube to conduct the electricity around the cell.
We then encapsulate all that into a growth cell.
Cap or no cap? Keep the tiger. And that's how we grow yellow diamond.
I know. Mr. Spellbreaker, you think everything's occultic. Well, that's because it usually is. But let's talk about cremation, a highly controversial topic amongst believers. Where does cremation come from? Okay, in the Bible, people were usually buried, more specifically buried with their fathers. Okay, so people would go farther away to be buried with their fathers. And some believers like to be buried facing east. They believe the Messiah will come from the east. So it doesn't really come from the culture of the people of the Bible to be cremated. It had happened in the Bible, but if you look into cremation and where it comes from, you're going to get mixed results about it. But basically, it was of the heathen. That was a practice that they partook in. So right off the bat, not something that I'm a big fan of. I think that we should be buried, more specifically, buried without being embalmed. Okay, would be the preferred method. Not that it really matters, because your soul leaves your body at death, and we're going to get to that in a second. Okay, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and read the second commandment. Okay, Exodus 24. Thou shalt not make unto thee any engraven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Okay, let's go back to that. Thou shalt not make thee any graven image, okay, or any likeness of that, of anything that's in heaven. Now, you guys have this auto heaven idea that everybody that dies goes to heaven. So assuming that your loved one's in heaven, and by the way, I'm sorry to hear about your loss, okay? This channel is not about you and your loved one. I'm sure they were a great person, okay? I'm not bashing them, okay? But assuming that they are in heaven, it specifically tells you not to do what you're doing if you're someone who's got one of these diamonds, okay? If you're someone who's went out and got one of these diamonds, you need to go respectfully, bury it, put it in a place that, get rid of it in a very respectable way. So another thing I want to point out about this is it's unclean, okay? You can go to Numbers 19:13, and it'll tell you about a dead body, okay? And for those of you who understand what being clean and being unclean is, okay, which is a topic we don't have time to go into, we desire to be clean, okay? So I'm not going to have something on me that's going to be unclean, making everything else around me unclean. So there's that problem as well. 1 Timothy 2:9, okay? It tells the woman not to adorn herself with pearls and with gold and things, okay? So we have an instruction that, we don't really need all this vanity anyway. We shouldn't be wearing jewelry anyway. I stand on that side. As a matter of fact, in Isaiah 3:18-23, he actually took jewelry away from his people. So if you're one of his people, should you be wearing jewelry? Probably not. Okay, 2 Corinthians 5:6. Okay, this is where we get the idea. Well, not the only place, but one of the places where we get the idea that the soul leaves the body at death. So if the soul left the body at death, that means your deceased loved one has left behind a decaying corpse. Okay, and what you have is something from the decaying corpse, not something that your loved one would have wanted you to do anyway, okay? And what's going to end up happening to you, people who've got these diamonds from these deceased loved ones, is that fortunes will befall you, okay? You might have almost got hit by a car, and you're going to look to that stupid rock and think that that rock is what saved you, rather than looking at your creator. And I did a video on crystals where I touched on these very same topics. Now, another thing I want to talk about is that the idea, okay, you're going to turn a loved one into a diamond. Diamonds are a scam anyway, okay? Diamonds happen everywhere that there's carbon. So it's all over the earth, there's diamonds. There's an abundance. You could literally fill a giant football stadium full of diamonds. They're worthless, okay? But because giant companies own the mines where the pretty diamonds come from, they're able to only release a few at a time every year and keep the market up on them. But it's a good old boy secret that we're all just stupid goyim with worthless ass fucking diamonds in our wedding bands and things like this. Now, because the occult, some people believe they're 25 years advanced from us, like all the technology that we get, they've had for 25 years. That means if this is just now coming out to us, that means that they've been doing this forever. And what I got to think is, now I have to reevaluate. When I see all these celebrities and all these blingy diamonds, are those really their sacrifices? See, that's the way that my brain works, okay? So again, I feel bad for you if you've lost a loved one, and you've done this. You know, I'm not dissing you. I'm not dissing your loved one. I will admit that it is a neat idea and that it's a very interesting thing that they're doing. However, it doesn't line up with the Bible. And it is, I'm convinced, a very occultic practice that will bring curses upon your head. I pray that this helps you. Thank you for tuning in. Have a blessed, wonderful day.